Okay, it's the next day. I will continue the story. Today is Tuesday. I am going to redo 4 of my nails. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5, 6 nails. I've been doing my own gel manicure since forever. And I love it. It's almost therapeutic for me. I got this little LED lamp kit. Now this is LED only, no UV, just LED. I think the LED is a little bit, well, it's safer. I spoke to my dermatologist about it. So no UV, just all LED. And I need to buy a nail dehydrator because I literally just did these nails like 4 days ago maybe, and they already started lifting. So I can tell the difference when I don't use my nail dehydrator. Okay, so that was another thing I just realized I didn't do. I didn't buff my nails before, like rough them up a bit so that the polish can adhere to it better. So hopefully this time it lasts. I don't have my little brush. I normally have like a makeup brush that I use to brush away the nail filings. But that's what we're gonna talk about. Not nail filings, but the stuff that I left in the packing. So that's where I left off yesterday, was breaking down the New York apartment. Now, I had gotten on I had gotten on Instagram, my stories, and I was like so emotional just about, I felt like I was giving my stuff away, even though I was selling things. So what I did was I listed almost everything for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And 90% of the stuff I listed sold. The only thing that didn't sell was the bed and the couch, which my uncle ended up taking the couch for my cousin, and then the bed we just broke down and put downstairs. And the crazy part was the neighbor directly next to me. I saw him going up the stairs with the bed, like each piece. Okay, my memory was full, so the camera cut off. But I just remembered when that happened. I have a clip of when I was in New York breaking down the apartment, what I was feeling, what I was going through. So let me jump to that real quick. Okay, so these are the final pieces of items that need to be emptied out of the apartment. I'm starting to feel a little bit like I'm in an episode of Hoarders and all of my stuff is getting thrown out. I don't have the psychologist and the therapist here to talk me through. So I'm just like mentally telling myself it's okay, it's gonna be fine, everything is okay. But what hurts me the most, I think, like mentally, is the little things that I wanted to grab and take. I have no space for anything else, like no space. Like I'm at a point now where everything is like, take it, trash it, take it, trash it. My little picture frames and stuff, like all of these things. A girl wanted to buy that and she saw that I was hesitant, so she didn't take it. I'm like, I should have just told her it's fine, take it. Because now I have it and I don't know if I have space for it. This I'm gonna have to put out as well by the dumpster. I think I spent like 30 bucks on that at FedEx trying to print it. I'm gonna have to throw away my wall art, all of these. I posted them on Facebook Marketplace, but nobody wanted them, so I don't know. My Muhammad Ali, my Angelou. A bit devastated about that. I wanted to try to pack them up, but I don't know what else. I don't know. The space thing is so limited. I've already shipped 7 more boxes to Atlanta. I got 2 boxes worth of stuff in the car right now. I don't have any space. This is the last thing my uncle is coming to take down, and we're gonna put back the standard light that came in here because that thing is so cute, and it is discontinued from IKEA, so she's going with me. Let me grab these while I'm talking to you. These are actually really cute, and they're glass, so I'll take these. They'll probably go really cute in the closet at my mom's house. These are smaller. I think these are like 16 by 18. I'm gonna stop at Home Depot and get some bubble wrap them and put them on the sides of the boxes. Hopefully that'll be fine. And then yeah, I'm on my way out of Nueva York. As much as I love New York, loved New York will always have a special place in my heart, but I've never felt happier. I don't know why. And when I first moved into this apartment, I remember I said I wasn't gonna get emotional. But I remember when I first moved into this apartment, I had nothing. I didn't have any money. The owners let me move in here with like literally the first month's rent and like almost no deposit. I sat on that radiator and I had gotten the keys and I just started crying because I was like, I was so grateful, but then I also didn't know how I was gonna do it. Like, how am I gonna pay for this by myself? And the funny thing is, like, God had a way of working it out. Like, everything worked out smoothly the entire time I had been here. I never needed or wanted for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt protected. I always felt like just safe here, you know what I mean? And during the pandemic, when the world was just crazy, I felt so peaceful. Like, I felt so at peace in this space. I'm so grateful to this space, and I hope that the next person that stays here feels that peace, and that spirit of peace maintains itself in this apartment. Oh, okay, I'm okay. I will stop. So yeah, I'm going to finish unpacking because I'm probably going to get more emotional the more I talk to you guys. It's therapeutic. So let me go. My uncle's on the way with a big truck. He's getting the sofa. It's the only thing that didn't sell. And I was upset about it, but I think my little cousin's going to take it, so I'm happy for that. If it goes to a use, I'm happy. I bought this thing on Craigslist when I first moved to New York for like $200. So as long as I've had it, it's been almost 10 years, I've gotten more than enough use out of it. Like $200, I'm happy. All right, I'll see you later. Okay, so that was really emotional to watch. I think it's beautiful when you're able to capture a moment like that, like to see it on video in the future, like your future self watching it and like remembering how you felt and what that felt like and realizing where you are now and how far you've come. Like that was actually kind of beautiful to watch. But I can tell you exactly what I was feeling in that moment. I mean, I did tell you what I was feeling in that moment, but in the beginning of the video, you know, I was talking about how many things I had to leave behind because I didn't realize how much stuff was left. And I think a lot of times when people move, we often think like, oh, we just have to get rid of the big things, the couch, the sofa, you know what I mean? Like once we get those things taken care of, the little things are much easier. For me, it was the opposite. The little things were much harder, like harder to pack, harder to figure out where to go. Because after I'd packed so many little things, I ended up with 16 boxes of shipments and 3 different trips to Delta Cargo in like a 48-hour time span. It was a lot. I missed several flights. I was supposed to leave, in that video, I was supposed to leave out on a 9:30 flight, I think out of LaGuardia, out of JFK that night. Didn't make it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take an 8 a.m. tomorrow. It'll be fine if I just like stay up really late and get all this stuff done. No, I made 2 more trips in the morning to Delta Cargo. And so I didn't end up getting out of New York until like 5:30 at night. My boyfriend, God bless his heart, he had flown in twice to come and help me. So it was chaotic, it was a lot. And keep in mind, in between that, we took a week off to go to Jamaica to bury my cousin. So it was a lot. Like the move was extremely intense, I should say. I don't want to say difficult because I like to think the grace of God got me through it. So I can't complain about difficulty when it comes to that. But it was a lot. It was a lot. So last little bit I'll tell you about it. Oh, of course I gotta tell you about the Atlanta transition and then how Holland came into play. Okay, so when I was leaving New York, and I finally got to leave New York the next day after that video clip I just showed, I think this is my last coat. Yeah, so when I left New York, when I was leaving New York, because we'd gotten rid of the mattress and the couch and I decided to stay an extra night to get things done the next morning, I ended up staying at my uncle's house who lives in Queens, and he lives closer to JFK. So I was like, perfect. I could just take a flight out of Kennedy the next day. It's perfect. It'll be fine. I went to my uncle's house, and that morning I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. For some reason, I could not sleep. Went to bed at like 12:31 and woke up around 5. got up, got dressed, made a trip to Delta Cargo, went back to the apartment, did some more cleaning, hired a TaskRabbit to help me bring all the things downstairs, pack up some more boxes, and make another trip to Delta Cargo. So that was 2 trips to Delta Cargo before like 10 a.m. I was supposed to take like 11:30 flight out. Wasn't happening. By the time I left Delta Cargo, it was like 11. So, and I had to drop my car off at my uncle's house because I was leaving my car in New York for my brother because he's moving. The sad part is, guys, my brother lives in Germany. He's been living here for like the last 3 or 4 years, and he is now relocating to DC. So now that I'm in the Netherlands, we were like a 4-hour drive apart. Like we drove over to see him when we got here. Now he's leaving. So that sucked, but it was good that, you know, he'll have my car when he gets there. So that was really cool. The military also ships his car too, but you know, him and his wife, it's nice for them to have 2 cars. So that worked out perfect. But I had a lot going on to get the car, leave it. It was a lot. So when I was leaving the apartment, and even when I left, there was still so much little stuff left behind. Like the girl who I had sublet the apartment to, she was gonna stay an extra day. I told her to just go ahead and stay an extra day because the rent was already paid up to the 31st. Like no need to have her like jump out of the apartment on the 25th if I still had stuff in there. And her being there meant that I could hire another TaskRabbit for another day to like just throw everything else out of the apartment. I had my hallway closet, what's it called? The coat closet in the hallway. New York has these really tiny coat closets that fit nothing. And I had a bunch of clothes in there that I hadn't seen or worn in forever. I initially planned on donating them, taking them to Salvation Army. But in New York, it's really hard to do donations. I don't know why. A place like New York with so many homeless and like, you know what I'm saying? You would think it'd be much easier to do donations. Not the case. So I had never gotten a chance to get them there. My other issue with getting them to the donation facility, they used to pick up. Now they don't. So you have to load your own car. Mind you, I was in a 4th floor walk up. So that meant that I would have to load all of my stuff, lug it down 4 flights of stairs, load it into the car myself, and then drive 20, 30 minutes out to their facility to make the donation. It was just a lot. And I made donations, but each time I would go, the car was full, so I could only take so much. So anyway, the clothes that were left in there, those needed to be cleaned out. And then what time is it? I gotta go. I'm meeting my friend Jenny today. Yeah, so those needed to be cleaned out. So her staying that extra night was so helpful because I was able to hire a TaskRabbit the following morning again to come and clean down everything. And it worked out perfectly because I was able to get like everything out of the apartment. It was spick and span, it was clean. Once I was able to get my landlord the entire deposit when I had first moved in, it was a full month's rent. Because they were so patient with me when I moved in. They were like, you can just give it to us in installments. But because I cleaned out the whole apartment, I was able to get back my entire deposit. So I was really grateful for that. But anyway, the biggest part of this story is when I was leaving New York, I hadn't had like a full emotional breakdown yet. And you guys saw in that video, like I broke down, but I didn't like fully just like, like collapse into like gasping tears. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, teary goodbye type of thing. Girl, when I got to the airport, first of all, when I got to my uncle's house to drop the car off, I still had quite a bit of things left in the car. I had a 5x8 rug that I could not get rid of. I love this rug so much. It was from Safaviya, beautiful rug, Moroccan. Couldn't get rid of it, but I left it in the car. I told my brother that his wife, you know, could have it and use it in the house when they moved to DC. Then I had left my bicycle at the apartment. Girl, drama behind the bicycle. Let me tell you how they try to steal it. It's gonna be so crazy. I'll tell you about that in another video. So when I dropped the car from my uncle's house, I had 2 options. It was now like 1 o'clock. The only, like the flight that I had an actual seat on, I was confirmed was a 2:30 flight. It's like 1 something. It takes about 30 minutes to get to LaGuardia from the side of town that he lives on, which is closer to JFK. But JFK didn't have another flight until like 5 p.m. So of course I was like, let me go to LaGuardia because they got a 2:30, they got a 4 o'clock and a 3:30, something like that. So my uncle goes, I asked him, I was like, do you think I could make it to LaGuardia for a 2:30 flight? It was like 1:15. And I had 7 bags to check. I did not even know Delta allowed you to check these many bags. But at this point, I wasn't doing any more Delta cargo shipment. I was paying money for shipments anyway. So I was like, if I could just check these things. And the things that I was checking were bags, were all legit bags. So I had 4 work bags, 2 big suitcases, and then 2 small bags, like a little lunch box, a little tote bag that attaches to your other bag. So all of them total up to be 7. And I had them all in New York because when I was working and traveling, I had different sizes bags. I had like an overnight bag, I had like a 2 or 3 day bag, I had like a 2-night bag. So I had all these little luggage sets and pieces that I didn't even realize because they were in that hallway coat closet that I never see because I walk right by it every time I'm in the apartment. So I had 7 bags to check. My uncle was like, yeah, leave right now. Yeah, if you leave right now. This is so Jamaican, like being last minute and not being on time. I should have like listened to my intuition and just stayed and chilled and relaxed for a moment. But no, I rushed. And because I was already feeling those emotions and I was rushing, I was overwhelmed. There was a lot happening. My emotions piled into the biggest mountain, the biggest Mount Rushmore ever. By the time I got to LaGuardia, the flight is at 2:30. I pull up to LaGuardia at like I pulled to LaGuardia at 1:55. The cutoff time to check a bag for domestic is 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I pull up like 35 minutes. There is no way I'm getting 7 bags on a plane and my butt in a seat within 35 minutes through security. It just was so impossible. So, okay, so I need to run. Remind me to start the story off with the Uber driver arriving at LaGuardia and what happened once I got there. I'm going to meet my friend Jenny. You guys remember Jenny from New York? She's the one that takes all my pictures from my blogs and some of my Instagram photos. Jenny used to be my roommate at one point, and then she moved to Brooklyn, and she is going to be in Amsterdam. So we are meeting up. I can find my socks. I have like 2 seconds to catch a train. So good luck to me. All right, I'll call you back. Good thing is the train is there and I'm here. So 5 minutes. Let's make it. So I left off with the Uber driver. Saw my friend Jenny. Sorry I didn't get to film as much as I wanted to. We just hadn't seen each other in so long, and this is like my first visit with one of my American friends here in the States. So I was really excited. But I left off with the Uber driver. So the Uber driver, once we got to the airport, he helps me to unload the bags, and before he did that, he asked me what time my flight was, and I think instantly he felt the energy that I had within me, and he just kind of felt it, and he was like, oh wow. So he jumped out the car, got all my bags out, helped me to the sky cap, brought all the bags all the way to where the sky cap was. And then the sky cap was also like, hey, what's your confirmation number? What time is your flight? And I told him. Both him and the Uber driver looked at each other, and they grabbed all my stuff, took me right inside the airport. They did this all by hand. They didn't get a card or anything. They grabbed my stuff, took me inside. The sky cap put me at the front of the line and just lined up all my bags, and he was like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything is going to be okay. To have a perfect stranger tell you that in that moment, it was just one of those things that was like, it was like I needed that, you know, because I'd missed so many flights. I'd been to Delta Cargo so many times, back and forth, so many trips to drop stuff off and take things downstairs, take things to the dumpster, trying to donate things. It was just a lot. So I get into the airport and I'm waiting my turn to walk up to the ticket counter, and I get to the ticket counter and the girl goes, "Hi, what city are you going to?" And I'm like, "Atlanta." She's like, "What flight are you on?" And before I could even like open my mouth, this entire rush of emotions just like flooded through me. It was like, I think I hadn't had that moment of like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I'm leaving New York. Like, this is the last, you know what I mean? The last time I'm going to be here for like a very long time. I didn't have that moment where everything all came crashing down. I did have a bit of an emotional moment earlier in the apartment, but I think it really hit me. And before I could even open my mouth, I just like broke down in tears. And the girl reaches her hand over the counter and I hold her hand and we both sit there in silence. And I'm literally just like crying, just letting it all out for a good minute and a half. And I was so grateful to her for allowing me to just have that moment. She wasn't rushing me. She wasn't doing anything. And then I told her, like, my flight's leaving in 25 minutes. I have a lot of bags to check. I know there's no way on earth I'm getting on that flight, but I really just needed that moment and I appreciate that. And she was like, "Oh my God, it's okay." She was so sweet. So I gave her a little bit of backstory and told her, you know, a little bit of what was going on. And she was just like, she was just shocked. She's like, "Oh my God, this is a lot." And we ended up exchanging contact information because she's like, "I want to know what happens next. This is intense. This is crazy." So it was just a really beautiful moment, like just experience that level of human exchange between the Uber driver, the Sky Cat, and then the girl at the ticket counter. It was just a beautiful way to leave New York. Like, that's how I wanted to remember New York, was the people, because so much of New York is the culture and the people. And I feel like when the pandemic happened, New York kind of lost that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, the energy just felt different and weird. Like, everything just felt different. So to experience that last bit of goodness in that moment when I got to the airport, it was such a beautiful thing. And I was so grateful, so appreciative for that. So that was how we left New York. It was chaotic. It was a lot. I couldn't even believe I did it. And then when I got to Atlanta, the crazier part was I only had 2 days before we were then flying to Europe. We even delayed it an additional day. The way I had set it up, because I thought in my mind, oh, it'll be fine. I just didn't plan the days enough. So we even took an additional day, and then day 3, we departed to go to Europe. So when I got to Atlanta, I had about 48 hours to 72 hours to pack all of my life in suitcases, or whatever I thought was my life or that I could manage with for now, to move to the Netherlands. And it was a lot. When I say a lot, because by the time I got to New York, not New York to Atlanta, you gotta remember, I just left New York. Doing that whole thing, unpacking 10 years of my life in an apartment, I was exhausted when I got to Atlanta. So having my mom breathe down my back every 5 seconds, "Are you packed? Did you pack yet? You guys are leaving on Thursday. Did you pack?" Like, I couldn't even move. Like, my body was just exhausted. It was a lot. How I even got over here with the stuff that I did, and at the time, it was still cold here. They were getting out of the end of winter, going into spring. So I needed to pack jackets, boots. Like, I needed to pack things that I could wear immediately and didn't have to buy once I got here. So it was quite a bit of a challenge, a lot of packing. I'm so grateful to God for my boyfriend and him being such an efficient human being, because he helped me through a lot of it. And I'm just grateful to have someone to help me and have a partner in all of this, because it was a lot. So anyway, I won't keep you guys. The very next video that's coming up, I have the biggest life update. It is the biggest life update I've had of my entire life. So yeah, tune into that next video. And I'm gonna roll these videos out back to back, because I owe you guys so much. It was such a huge gap that I had enough time to film and kind of prepare, or try to film. I have bits and pieces, but I'm gonna do everything I can to like get these videos out back to back to you, so you can like be up to date, see what's going on. So thank you guys so much for watching, hanging in there with me, taking this journey with me, taking this ride. I'm so excited. I love you guys so much.